Oliver Napoleon Hill is a very complex person in history. Born in Pound, Virginia, he would rise up to be one of the most influential motivational speakers that is still read to this day. However, there are many who call him a flim-flam artist of his day. We will try our best to take an unvarnished look at the life of Oliver Napoleon Hill to let you, our reader and viewer, decide which picture he represents. In doing this biography, it is never the intention of this site to disparage anyone's reputation. And there is a messy section of his life that is public record and describes a part of his life before he became a celebrated author and businessman. As we say here at Kentucky, Tennessee Living, history isn't always pretty, and it can be downright messy. But it is history, and you need to get a complete picture to understand a person or the events that go on surrounding them. We understand that many people follow his writings and his thoughts, and to these people, all we can say is we cannot paint a one sided picture of the complex person. This story will take place over several videos as we are going to take a huge deep dive into his life. And we ask for patience, as we never do anything by halves on this channel. And we will try to dedicate as much time to his successes as we do to his failures. All aboard the Kentucky Tennessee Living Time Machine. Please fasten your seatbelts and keep your arms and legs inside of the vehicle at all times. But to get going, we need your help. We still need to fire up that time machine to transport us. Please help us by clicking on the like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons down below. Not only does this fire up the time machine for our flight back in time, but it convinces the YouTube algorithm that we need a bigger vehicle to reach more people who love history as much as you do. Now, back to our story. The early years. Oliver Napoleon Hill was born October 26, 1883 in Pound, Virginia, to James Monroe Hill and Sarah Sylvania Blair. He is also the grandson of James Madison Hill and Elizabeth Jones. James Madison Hill came to the United States from England to settle in Pound, Virginia in 1847. When Oliver was 9 years old, his mother died and his father remarried a woman named Martha, who was a widow of a school principal. Martha was a settling influence on Oliver and helped him to want to attend church and school. When Oliver turned 13 years old, he began writing articles as a mountain reporter for his father's newspaper. At the age of 17, Hill graduated from high school and moved to Tazewell, Virginia, where he attended business school. In 1901, after keeping confidential the circumstances of a death of a black bellhop that had accidentally been shot to death by a previous manager of a coal mine, Hill began working for Rufus A. Ayers, who was a coal magnate and former Virginia Attorney General. Leaving his job, Hill enrolled in law school for a short time, but had to withdraw because of lack of funds. Hill would still use the title Attorney of Law, even though there is no record of Hill returning to school to finish out his degree. Marriages. At the age of 15, in 1898 or 1899, Hill married a local girl who claimed that Oliver had fathered her child. The claim was later recanted and the marriage was annulled. Neither she or her child were ever named in the biographies that we have found so far. Edith Whitman was married to Hill from 1903 through 1908. They had a child in 1905 named Edith Whitman Hill. Because of alleged mistreatment of his wife and daughter and infidelity, Edith began divorce proceedings in 1908. Hill's family and friends testified to the claims that Edith had presented, along with Hill's infidelity with prostitutes. Hill married Florence Elizabeth Horner from 1910 to 1935. Florence was still in high school when she met Oliver. She was from a wealthy West Virginia family. The couple married in 1910, but Hill put off the honeymoon until 1919. Horner and Hill had 3 sons together, named James, born 1911, Napoleon Blair, born 1912, and David, born 1918. After a string of failed business ventures and a charge of fraud, Horner had enough and filed for divorce in Florida. Hill had 4 recognized children. Oliver then married Rosalie Beeland from 1937 to 1940. After attaining success with his writings, Hill once again began his lavish lifestyle. Sometime in 1940, however, Beeland filed for divorce, and much of the money that Hill's estate and sale of his book, Think and Grow Rich, went to his wife for the divorce settlement. And his last marriage was to Annie Lou Norman from 1943 to 1970. The couple met when Annie was 47 years old, and Hill rented a room from her. After they married in 1943, they moved to California. Annie remained with Oliver through the remainder of his life until his death on November 8, 1970. Annie was involved in a lengthy battle for the Napoleon Hill estate against the Napoleon Hill Foundation that lasted well into the 1980s. We will leave the life of Oliver Napoleon Hill here, as next week we will pick up with his early business dealings. We are doing this because the next section of his life is very complex and should not be broken up between videos. Thank you. We at Kentucky Tennessee Living would like to thank you for watching our video series on the outstanding Appalachian people. Don't forget to hit that like button, as the more likes we receive, the more likely YouTube is to suggest our videos to other viewers. Also, to receive notice when we upload a new video, be sure to subscribe and click the bell notification button. Please be sure to double check that you are subscribed, as some of our viewers are finding that they are no longer subscribed to our channel. We thank you for continuing to support Kentucky Tennessee Living as we are discovering the mysteries in Appalachian history.